Now, the Commission enters its 49th day this morning. It continues with testimony from witnesses regarding the allegations made by Lieutenant-General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on the interference in the police work. So let's now get the latest from Sakina and our SABC News reporter, Canny Maphanga. Sakina?
Well, indeed, Leanne, welcome back to the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. And of course, today, day 49. Days 47 and 48 centered around the evidence of the KZN Hawks head. And that's, of course, Major General Sona. Now, Canny, let's just remind ourselves first and foremost what Major General Sona stands accused of, why he's appearing before the Commission.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Sakina, and to the viewers. I think the focal point is that you are dealing with someone that is a KZN Hawks head, provincial Hawks head, and that context must always remain in your mind as you look at the allegations that he is facing. He's accused of having an improper alleged close relationship with Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, who we already know is alleged to be a cartel member that allegedly forms part of a Big Five syndicate. That's what Kumalo explained it as. And he alleged that this particular syndicate has legitimate business, usually in the form of security companies, but what doubles up is criminal elements, which include alleged money laundering and the alleged illicit drug trade. So what you're seeing is that in the WhatsApp extractions that you are seeing from the phone of Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, that those are the kind of allegations that you can draw about Sona, because there are WhatsApp conversations which show that there was an alleged leak of private SAP's confidential information to this individual. They were clearly discussing his SAP's contract that was about to be cancelled. Even when it was cancelled, he was seeking, I guess, advice, if you could put it that way, from Sona. And they were meeting on several different occasions, as well as Matlala meeting with Tato, his son, about a property where the purchase was never actually finished. However, there's clearly a tie there that has to be explained by Sona, but he's having difficulty with giving those explanations because of the implications that accompany such truths if he were to give it to the Commission.
Of course, the Commission is putting it to Sona several times that some of his explanations simply did not make sense. For example, he tried, did Sona, to make or draw a distinction between information that is confidential and information that is classified when quizzed about information that he shared with Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, which is, of course, sensitive. And again, he tried to backtrack, walk his way out of that.
I think the sentiment of the day where those documents come into sharp focus is I can't recall from Sona. But I think he's fully aware of the implication. That is why you're seeing the posture that he's taking, where he seeks to try and distance himself not from Cat Matlala, but rather Cat Matlala's alleged criminality. So he agrees that they had a social relationship, but he doesn't want to take it further, because I think he's fully aware of the implication and the consequences of conceding to the fact, or rather being candid about the fact that you would have been aware of this person's alleged criminal dealings, because he knows by virtue of his position as KZN Provincial Hawks head, it opens up a different can of worms, because now you're going to have questions such as, why is a provincial Hawks head, provincial head of the DPCI, having a close relationship or maintaining a close association with someone that he's fully aware is an alleged criminal involved in the alleged illicit drug trade? If he has to answer those questions, it's going to reflect quite poorly on him, and he understands the implications and the consequences. So I think that is why you're seeing this particular posture, where he can agree to a certain degree that there is some form of relationship there, but once he has to deal with the impact of the fact that this individual was, I guess, a well-known alleged criminal for at least a few months or a year prior to these WhatsApp conversations, then of course he understands that there are implications associated with that. That's why you're seeing this particular posture where he's trying to distance the alleged criminality, but acknowledges that he knows this particular individual, but the WhatsApp conversations run contrary to this particular posture that he's trying to take. That is why you're seeing him have such a difficult time on the stand over the course of these 3 days.
An arduous 2 days for Major General Sona, but not very successfully pushing back. Because if you take, for example, the question of the 3 messages that were sent to him by Kat Matlala that he allegedly did not open, that contained, again, docket-sensitive information. And he was asked then, I think it was by the chairperson, how many of Mr. Matlala's messages have you not read? To which his response was 3. And it happened to be those 3. But it speaks to, as you point out, him understanding that this could implicate him in a manner that he may find, himself in a bit of difficulty in later on.
Not even implicate him, it could also incriminate him in alleged wrongdoing, because there is no context upon which you could justify a provincial Hawks head sharing confidential information with an alleged cartel member. And those 3 documents that are referred to yesterday, the context is that they were actually at a meeting together when it was sent to his phone. And he seems to try and claim that he doesn't know what these documents were about, or why a person who's sitting with him in a meeting would send him those particular documents. That submission is simply untenable. The Commission is concluding that he knew what those documents were about, and that is why Kat Matlala sent it during the course of that meeting that they had undertook. But again, he's fully aware of the implication or the consequence of conceding to such a fact. So that is why he's trying to distance himself from that alleged wrongdoing, because his position as a KZN Hawks head does not permit for him to have this kind of alleged improper association with an alleged cartel member.
And of course, the word improbable coming up quite often from the commissioners, given the explanations by Major General Sona.